But the thing is, you can't make any money that way, right? So you have to, gain more capital. And there's some people who can put $500 to $1,000, maybe $10,000 starting out because of the financials and because of the fact that they're ready to take on that amount of capital, maybe because they've already had that amount of capital. What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Chart Slayer here, and today we're going to be breaking down how much money you technically trade in order for you to trade Forex, right? So I'm gonna give you some tips. I'm gonna give you a couple points in order for you to know how much you need. Now, this all depends on your psychology, your financials, and the broker, right? So let me explain. So in regards to your psychology, you need to actually know if you're ready to trade with a large amount of capital. So you can't trade with the same mentality at $100 that you can trade at $1,000. It has to be, you have to have a different mentality. You can't think you're going to be making $1 million when you're only at 100. Like, you think millionaires and billionaires are actually, thinking the same way that they did when they were only scrapping up change in the streets? It don't work like that. So you have to understand that if you're trying to make money in the foreign exchange market, then you need to understand that you need to get into that mentality. Now, how does this relate to how much money you need to start? Well, some people dealing with their psychology, sometimes need to start with 10 to 20, 30, $50 or something like that, because they're trying to get into, get their feet wet. They're trying to understand how the market works. But the thing is, you can't make any money that way. Right? So you have to, gain more capital. And there's some people who can put $500 to $1,000, maybe $10,000 starting out because of the financials and because of the fact that they're ready to take on that amount of capital, maybe because they've already had that amount of capital, right? So you have to understand that when it comes to the psychology of things, in your mind, you have to be ready to make that amount of money. And so that will depend on how you specifically start off putting money into your account. Now let's talk about the brokers. Right? So when it comes to the brokers, certain brokers only allow you to put in, give or take, $10 to $100 into your account. Now, that, is amazing for, regular retail traders, regular people like myself, because that allows you to say, what, I can definitely spend $10 to $100 every single day. That's nothing. That's how much I make at my job. But the thing is that it doesn't mean that you'll make $1 million tomorrow. Because most of the time, people who think they make $1 million tomorrow are not the ones that's going to be in here long term. And you have to think long term when it comes to trading Forex. You can't just think, oh, I can just come in here, with a small account size and expect to make a woozah money. Now, I'm not going to tell you, that you can't put in $10, $15, because I put in $15 starting off. But did I, depend on those $15? No. I grew, compound, and scaled my account to where it is now, where I'm able to make a substantial amount of money, right? And what I mean by substantial, obviously when it comes to trading, there's more variables into it. When I trade, it's not just my trading account that's making me money. I have other streams of income that's also assisting when it comes to making my own forms of money. Right now, when it comes to, let's actually talk about the people who do, I just flipped $150 to $15,000 in a week. You're over leveraging your account when you're doing that. So when you're trying to, find out how much money to put in, you have to think realistic. You can't just put money into your trading account and then say, I'm gonna flip it to 1,000 tomorrow. I see people, when it comes to signals, they put the biggest lot size in when, they're doing signals, and then they're like, yo, I just made 1,000 today or yesterday or whatever the case may be. But then they wonder why they can't make 1,000 again. The thing is, and then you blow your account, and then you're upset that you blew your account, and then you're like, dang, I need to put more money in. Now how much money do I need to put in? You're going through this endless cycle of depositing money into your account. How much do I need to put in? Oh, I lost it. How much money do I need to put in? Then I lost it. The thing is, when you're deciding on how much money, you need to have an objective with that money. Okay, well, if I'm putting in $150, my first rule is to protect my capital first, then gain profit second. You guys are not thinking about that. You guys are thinking of, how much am I going to be able to flip? That could, not be your fault. Maybe that's the person who told you about it. Maybe, you researched it on YouTube. Maybe it's a third party. whatever the case may be, you need to think of this when you first deposit money into your account like it's a long-term thing. Now, let's talk about how to actually, what to do with your accounts. Like going back to the brokers. Brokers will always give you some form of fashion a commission. They'll get their commission, they'll get their money. So that $150 isn't really $150, it might be $148, right? It might be $139, whatever the case may be. Bitcoin might take something away, right? So when it comes to depositing money into your account, always kind of deposit a little bit more over, so then when you get to your account, you'll actually have the money that you actually wanted, right? So for example, if you wanted $150 into your account, you really, need to deposit $160, because you'll have a fee from, if you're doing by Bitcoin from crypto, then you'll have a fee while it's transferring from however many hours that it takes. Then you'll have a fee from actually reaching your broker account and getting into your MetaTrader 4, right? So you have to understand that when it comes to, your account and everything, you have to kind of overdo it to get exactly what you want. Now let's talk about the financial situation of how much should I actually put into my trading account. The thing is, each person is different. I put in $15. My mom put in a couple hundred. Now I want you to understand, the more money you have in your account, the more money you're able to make. So I used to get upset and I put $15 in, obviously not knowing, that $15 is $15 and a couple hundred is a couple hundred, and you'll make money off of a couple hundred. I got upset. Where I'm like, dang, how is she making so much money and I'm only making $2, $3 at a time? It's because of the amount of money I started putting into my account. You have to understand, when it comes to your account, you have to have capital. You will not just come into business and expect to make $1 million tomorrow. It's not going to work like that. Now, let's talk about debt. Right? Let's talk about how to prevent debt, how depositing your money into your account also affects debt. So when you deposit money into your account, you're actually, when you deposit it, you have to think long term. Why would you want to deposit your certain amount of money? That's the question you want to ask yourself. And how is that going to affect you in the long run? So let's say, for example, I deposit $5 into my account, $10 into my account, really. And I'm thinking, hey, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm going to make 1,000 by the end of the month. Well, you have to think realistic, right? And it's all about being realistic about what you are going to trade, how much you're going to win, how much you're going to think you're going to win, because you have to have a goal in place when you're trading. Everything is about goals. Now, let's say I put in, $500 in my account, and I want to make $1,000 by the end of the month. That's actually realistic because of the capital that I started off with. Now, when it comes to depositing money into your account, it all depends on the goal that you have in mind, right? So why is it that when people put in their account, they expect to make $1 million tomorrow, then they over leverage their account, then they're like, dang, I just lost money? You have to think about the amount of risk that you're willing to take when you're depositing this money. I really want you guys to understand, because I can't stress enough the amount of long-term thinking that you have to look at in order for you to know how much money you're willing to put into a trade. Okay, think about this. Let's say you have $1,000 in your account, right? And you're doing a standard lot size, which is a 1.00. That means that's $10 a pip. That means if you go 100 pips, you just blew your $1,000 account, right? But if you were to use, a mini lot size, which is a 0.10 lot size, then that's only $1 per pip, which means you have a lot of margin, a lot of space for you to make an error, lose a couple trades, win a couple trades. That's how you want to trade. And I really want you guys to understand, because when you decide to put the amount of money that you want in your account, you have to think of all of this. Before you actually put it into your account, you have to think of the goal that you're wanting to make, as well as the risk that you're willing to take. All right, let me repeat that again. You have to think of the goal that you're willing to make and the risk that you're willing to take. All right, so I really want you guys to understand that when it comes to, figuring out how much money you're willing to put in, you have to think of your lifestyle, your financials, the psychology of trading, the psychology of depositing money into your account, and the long-term when it comes to all of this. So hopefully you guys learned something off of this, and I really hope you gained a lot of value. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want to know the gear that I'm using as well as the trading view, and if you want to get a free stock, definitely click that link below and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, you guys. I appreciate you, and you guys have a good one.